All right, students, let's talk about solving word problems, everybody's favorite thing. All right, you follow a couple steps, some word problems you can solve and make them a little easier to understand. All right, so here's I'd like to start off with what's called the cubes method. All right, and if we look, we'll see we see the word cubes on the side, CUBES. And each letter stands for a different step, a different process that you can follow. C, circle the numbers. U, underline the question. This identifies the variable. B, box the key words. E, eliminate information not needed. And S, set up and solve the equation. Now, do these steps work every single time? No, but they do help, okay? So now let's look at two word problems and apply these steps, all right? So let's come up here. Example 1. And let's read it. First thing you always want to do with any word problem is read it. Read it more than one time. Read it at least 2 times, all right? So half a number decreased by 8 will be 13, all right? Let's read it one more time. Half a number decreased by 8 will be 13. Now let's follow these steps. Let's start with C. Circle the numbers. What numbers do we see? Obviously, we see 8. And what else do we see? 13. All right. What's the next step? Underline the question. This particular word problem, there is no question, so we'll skip that. B. Box the keywords. What are some keywords we see? Half. All right. We should know from earlier lessons what half is. What else? Let's look. Oh, decreased. Same as half. From earlier lessons, we ought to know what decreased is. And will be, or just the word will. All right. So now what is half? Half means, and run out of space, but let's say divide by 2. Decreased, minus, and will or will be means equal. All right. E, eliminate information not needed. Same as before. This is real basic, so there's nothing to eliminate. But let's come to S, set up and solve. All right. Now let's look. We have a number. What is a number? Correct. I don't know. All right. Anything that you don't know is what we call a variable. So really a number we could consider the question. So let's underline that. Because what number are we talking about? I don't know. So it's a variable. Remember, variable is a letter. So let's give it a letter. Let's call it B. All right. So now let's read this. Half of B, or B divided by 2, decreased or minus 8 will be or equals 13. Now let's write that. So half of B, so B divided by 2, decreased minus 8 will be or equals 13. Now we have an equation that we can solve. B minus 8 equals 13. So let's solve it. We're going to add 8 to both sides of the equation. 8's cancel. B over 2 comes down. And 13 plus 8 is 21. Here, because we have division, we want to multiply to solve. So we're going to multiply by 2. Multiply by 2. 2 is cancel. Leaves us with B. B equals 21 times 2. 42. All right. Now, are all word problems this easy? Of course not. Let's look at another example and see what else, if we can apply these steps again. All right. So bear with me. All right. So now let's look. Let's read it. All right. And for the sake of time, we'll read it just once. All right. But like I said, read it at least 2 times. Michelle works at Walmart. She makes $15 per hour and has saved $220 for rent. In all, she needs $820 for her rent. How many hours does she need to work to have enough money for her rent? Now, word problems like this, I like to skip a step. Well, not skip, but start with the U. Underline the question. So what's the question? Question is always wherever the question mark is. How many hours does she need to work to have enough money for her rent? But we can simplify that to just how many hours, all right? The part about does she need to work, we don't really need that, all right? So we can eliminate this part. But we know how many hours is the question. That's the variable. So now let's come here. So we did the U part. We underlined the question. C, circle the numbers. What numbers do we see? Correct. 15, 220, 820. So we circled the numbers. Check. Underline the question. We did hours. B, box the keywords. But what keywords do we see? Per. And what does per mean? It means multiply. So I put a little dot for multiplication. All right. Has saved. In all. We know has saved and all both mean plus. All right. Needs. Needs isn't the key word we discussed, but needs is one we can add, and needs means equal. All right. So we've boxed the keywords. E, eliminate information not needed. It says Michelle works at Walmart. Doesn't matter where she works. No, we can just eliminate that. All right. Now we want to set up and solve. So we know our question is how many hours. That's the variable. So let's look. Here's hour. So we know hour is our variable. Let's give it a very letter. Let's call that H. And now we can set up and solve this equation. 15 per hour. So 15 times H is 15H. Has saved in all, we know it's plus 220. And needs is equal. So that equals 820. Now from here, we have an equation that we can solve. Subtract 220 from both sides. All right. Leaves with 15H equals 600. And then we want to divide both sides by 15. 15s cancel, leaves us with H. And 600 divided by 15 is what? 40. So she needs to work 40 more hours to have enough money. But as you see, following the cubes method kind of helps with solving these word problems. Like I said, does it work in every situation, in every word problem? No, but it's a start and it helps. All right. Thank you.